When there's lightning.
That was a little sloppy. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. We didn't get much sleep since we've been home. That's what it is. I'll blame it on something else. That wasn't me. That was some evil spirit in here. Oh, I know what that is. There we go. That's the fan. Anyway, thanks for joining me, you guys. And I always appreciate you being here, supporting the show. We've been going on for quite a while now. It's going to go on 2 years in June. You believe that? Wow. Anyway, I like that thing I played before. Within the beat. I'll show you what that is in a little bit. And so we just got back from Cherokee, North Carolina. We played with a good friend of ours, Brett Michaels. He's such a nice guy. I mean, he's a really great guy. And, you know, he's a diabetic, and I'm a slight diabetic. I told him one day we'll go out and celebrate. We'll go get some cereal, Raisin Bran, sugar. But we played with Brett at the Cherokee Casino, and that was a real trip going up there. We had to fly into Charlotte, North Carolina. I know there was a little bit closer airport, but that Charlotte, North Carolina was 3 hours away from the casino. So you got to add that into your flight time. We had to take 2 planes and then the layover and blah, 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 blah. Going there didn't seem bad, but coming home, man, it took like 15 hours, you know, before we got home. And that's crazy, you know. It's like you can go to Europe. So we had a great show. We opened for Brett, and people loved it. At first, I thought we were going to scare the people because they were, you know, he's headlining, so you get the majority of fans for him or whoever's headlining. But we had a lot of people there that was Last in Line fans, and it was really cool. By the end of the set, they were all, you know, taking their clothes off, dancing around and stuff. And it was pretty fun. And they kept their clothes on. So we had a great time, and then coming home was crazy. We didn't know if Andy, our singer, Andy Freeman, was going to make it because he left from L.A. This is the day before, on Thursday. We played on Friday. And he left from LAX, and he had to fly to, I don't know where the original flight was, but they canceled it. They put him on a flight to Minneapolis, okay, later on. That was hours away. He went to Minneapolis, and there they got snowed in. He had to sleep at the airport on the floor. He's amazing. And then take an early morning flight and get to North Carolina and drive the 3 hours to his place. I'm like, oh, my God, I hope he gets here. What are we going to do? Maybe Viv will sing, and Phil could sing, but not like Andy can sing. So he walked in at our sound check at 4:30. Usually we're, you know, he's there the night before. And he just killed it. I know, you know, sometimes when you're really tired, you go up and play, you don't give a hell, and you just go up and slam it, you know, yeah! And you just play better. Sometimes when you're rested, you go, this is going to be a great show, and you go up there like today, and you mess it up a little bit. So, but this is my show, so I can mess it up all along, you know. I can do it. Oh, my God. So that was that, and then the next thing I got going on is the rock camp with Joe Perry and Tico Torres. All right? You know what that beat is, right? Walk This Way. It's such a simple beat, right? If I would have played, it would have been. And it wouldn't have been a smash single. So that's coming up not this weekend, next weekend. Rock Fantasy Camp in Florida at the, I think I don't know where we're playing. I think one of them is the Hard Rock Hotel. That's the one that's shaped like a guitar. So that should be fun. I don't think I really met Tico Torres. My brother knows him. My brother knows everybody. And my brother's a good example of people go, how do you make it in this business? One of the most important things is networking. You got to network. You got to get numbers and emails and this and that and this and that. And you go, mingle, social, real life social, not on your phone. You go to a party or something. Hey, there's hey Tico, blah, 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 blah. And you get Tico's number. Or Joe Perry. And that's how you social, do the networking. But he's a master at it. He's been around for so many years, and he's got everybody's number. If the number doesn't work, I call Carmine. Hey, Carmine, what's his name? Chris's number, and then he's got it. This is the Korg drum, electronic drum. It's got a lot of drum sounds, but there's drum sounds. There's nothing really crazy on it. See? They're real dead. We can do that. But there's some good ones. That's not one of them. Let's see what this one is. This is an old one too, so I'm sure the new ones are better. So, so I had my Sawtooth Command Series drums at the last gig, and that's the Command Series is the cheaper set of drums. They used to be real cheap before all the crap hit the fan, and with the prices and supply chain, so they're up a little bit, but those drums sound great. This kit here is the higher end kit. So the Command Series is made from poplar wood, and they sound great. I've been using them for years now because we couldn't get these drums. These are the hickory drums by Sawtooth. So I use them, and in that particular kit, I have two heads on the bass drum, no hole, but there's a little mic inside, and it went in through the air hole. And there is no real muffling in the drum. There's just a little Evans pillow, but little. And that's it. Hardly anything. And usually sound men at these different places go, oh, my God, you got to muffle it, blah, 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 blah. And I go, no. Just mic it up. So he was cool, the guy who was doing the sound, and he loved the sound, This is hardly any muffling too, but it's got a hole. You can't see the hole on the camera, but it's below there. And it's got a nice tone to it. It rings longer than if it was all muffled up, So I don't like the bass drums that go. I can't even muffle this. Actually, it sounds like this. Gotta watch it out. Hitting the wrong place. He loved it. He goes, man, this was a great sound. What a killer bass drum sound. So he loved it. The way the trick to it, if you're not going to muffle it so much, one of the tricks is to keep the beater from the pedal on the skin. See, now the beater's smashing against the head, muffling it, you know, and I can open it without doing that. I open it up a little bit more. So I do a combination of both things. So the actual pedal, the beater on the pedal is actually muffling the bass drum. And because I don't like muffled anything, you know. As you can hear, these drums are ringing, and I've explained before. When you put all the drums together, they become a whole instrument. You know, everything's ringing. Hear that? There's a little reverb on the mics, but you can hear the drums ringing. So anyway, so we had a good time, and Lala's here.
Hello.
Hello, Lala.
Yeah, we had a good time, huh?
Yeah, it was fun, right?
Except the ride there was like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. We're driving in the Sprinter van, this guy, Mike, and it's really dark, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to take the shortcut." Okay. He gets on the highway, then we're going to go on this shortcut. I went, okay, cool. It won't be so long. But the shortcut was like this, boom, 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 up the hill. Then we hit fog. I mean, you couldn't even see much in front of you. And I'm like, okay, time to do this, you know. It was crazy. And then snow and all this stuff. And at the hotel, you know, I just put the TV on. I never saw so many Smokey the Bear commercials. I used to see that as a kid in New York. I don't know why they showed it in New York City. In Brooklyn, you can prevent forest fires. In Brooklyn? Well, I'm going to light my tree, the one tree on the block, on fire. But then I saw, we went shopping yesterday. I saw the Smokey the Bear shirt. I almost got it, but it was a medium. But I'm not going to fit in medium. So I want to play this thing. Can I find it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. This is just fun. And I always say you can put a CD on and practice your licks, you know. Because my whole theory is learn the lick inside out, make it become part of you. Like I did this before, like a bunch of licks. That's a lick. Those are licks. All licks. Okay, another lick. What else we got? That's a lick. So you could basically, like at the end of some of the songs I played, which were the first song was Jim Crean and Stephen Hound and me, and we're releasing that record sometime this year. And the second song was Kill Devil Hill, which that's what that was. So, and I play around it, you know. So this is just kind of funny. I'm going to play this song, right? This is Gene Krupa. Just to show you how you can practice your licks. was loud. These guys play loud. Keep missing that cymbal here and there because it's too far away because of these guys. See, muscle memory plays a big part in drums. You're used to hitting here, plus the mic's in the way. You see, so that's a kind of a way different song that I'm used to playing. And you could play licks to that. So why not play it to some of the rock music you listen to, you know? So if you're practicing your rolls, say to that song, let's say you playing that song. They say you learn this, which is only, so you got, see? So it's a good way to practice. Keep that in mind. It's crazy because that's the way I used to play as a kid too. I used to play in the basement and I didn't play exactly to the song. I did at one point. Then as I got a little bit better, I would start doing these fills and crazy things against the song. It's almost like playing to a metronome. And that's not a metronome. If you had a metronome. Metronome going. So good way to practice too. I was thinking of this story with Ronnie just before. We used to fly. This is when we were playing in Black Sabbath in 1980, and I joined the band. I've been in the band for a bit, and we used to fly from L.A. to London on an airline called Freddie Laker Airways, and it was owned by Sir Freddie Laker, who was a big billionaire in England. So we used to get, I don't even remember, but it must have been business class or first class tickets on that. And at one point on one of the flights, they knew we were on board. And Ronnie was there. He got up and sang in the intercom. And I think he sang something like one of these songs, one of these old jazz songs. And it was really cool. He didn't sing a whole song. There was no music. But he sang a whole bunch of it, and then when he finished, the whole plane was, yeah. Okay, so anyway, we have Lala Lollipop here.
Hello.
A lot of you guys, a lot of people were at the show that watched this show.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah, and they met Lala, and it was really cool meeting all you guys too, so. Okay, so let's take some questions and see what we got here.
Okay. How is your computing business going?
How's my computer business? I'll tell you about it. When I came off the tour with the original Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne, we all know him. This kind of grunge music was taking over, and I just took a little bit of a break, and I started studying computers. So I did because I was into computers before that anyway. I was building them and that kind of thing and learning about them. And I built my own computers and this and that. So I went to take the Microsoft Systems Engineer course, and I finished that whole thing. And then I did Cisco routers. I did that whole course. And then everybody knew, all my friends knew I built computers and networks and blah, blah, blah. So that started a little business, basically. I didn't start it. They started it. They called me, hey, Vinny, can you build me a computer? Can you do this? And then my friend Michael had a bunch of stores, carpeting stores. So I wound up doing all the computers in 9 stores and T1 lines and this whole thing. So I don't do really much with it now. I just do it for my family, basically. I don't have time anyway. But I am going to rebuild this computer I'm using right now. That's about 4 years old, 3.5 years, 4 years. But but there's no problem with it. But there's so much faster stuff out there. So these are cool. I like building a hot rod, So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I got a new router yesterday at Micro Center because we were in the neighborhood. Because I noticed my TV was buffering. Get the little circle, change the channel in a little circle. I'm going through the internet. I use Roku and all that stuff. And it was buffering a lot. So I thought, you know what? I think this router's kind of had it. And the new ones have better security. Get Wi-Fi 6 if you get one. Okay, next question.
Did you ever tour with Edgar Winter?
Did I ever tour with Edgar Winter? No. I toured with Rick Derringer, who played with Edgar Winter, and my brothers Carmine, who played with Edgar Winter, but I myself never did. Next.
Okay. When is a new Last in Line coming out? The new, you have a...
We're working on the new Last in Line album. The album probably won't be out till next beginning of the year. And we have an EP coming out with 2 live tracks, 1 new track, and 1 remake of a very famous song. And that, I think, should be out in the summer. And we're talking to video people and all this stuff. We're on a new label called Ear Music. They're fantastic. They're in Germany. And so keep an eye out. I'll let you guys know. It'll be cool. We got some more dates coming up. We're going to play through pretty much April 3rd week, and then Viv gets busy with Def Leppard, so we'll be on break. That's when I'll probably be building computers. One of the simplest beats to play, practice something, is a paradiddle. Paradiddle is right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. That's 2 different sounds if I spread it out right hand on the tom. So what you're doing is you're playing the paradiddle between the snare drum and the bass drum. So you got a little faster. That's a real simple way to start this, and then you can get it a little more crazy. Started getting into that syncopation kind of playing, which is great. Okay, next question.
Somebody's learning caught in the middle on the drums.
Oh, yeah?
Great structure and detail. Any stories?
Caught in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember the beginning goes da da ba ba ba. That second ba ba was my idea to come in there, because normally you come in on the first accent da ba ba ba. So let's make it interesting. Hit on the second one. So it's da 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 ba. I remember that part of it. What the rest of the song? Caught in the Middle was about our sound man, engineer, Angelo, with his relationships. I didn't know that. I learned that a couple of years ago from somebody. And it was about Angelo Arcuri. He recorded the first 4 Dio records. Fantastic sound. He was the sound man for Sabbath as well. But I don't know anything else on the song. I don't know where I got in the middle after the verse. So it goes from this feel to the next part. That's right. You feel it, goes to halftime. So we just sorted out all those kind of halftime parts. But I don't remember anything extraordinary that stuck in my head. That's why I better write a book soon, because if I don't write it soon enough, it's going to be like half blank. Caught in the middle. Don't remember the intro, but that was it. Okay, next question.
Hi-hats, what are the brand and what size?
These are double A, Sabian double A mediums, 14. You know, I said, and they're all double A mediums. Over here is a 16-inch medium. This is a 20-inch ride, and that's a 20-inch crash. And like I said before, you got to match the cymbals to the drums. These drums sound big. Now, if I went ba 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 ba, that doesn't match. Even the hi-hat. These are nice, warm sounding mid-range. Now that might not sound good on Gene Krupa's record because they're heavy sounding hi-hats, but you should pick cymbals that match the way you want to tune your drums. If you want to tune your drums really high up, maybe more like Neil Peart, and then maybe cymbals, these might be a bit too bottomy, you know. And but these drums sound so big that these are perfect cymbals for these drums. Let me give you a quick rundown of the drums. These are hickory made drums, a 6-ply hickory shell, and it gives you a lot of lows, a lot of highs. If you tune them up more, that sounds fantastic. Tune them down, they sound really bottom-endy. And they have dual 45-degree angles on the snare drum and on the toms for a wider sustain, wider tuning range, the whole thing. All the hoops are 3mm die-cast steel hoops, kind of like Superman. Stronger, thicker, consistent hoop with less weak points, and I can vouch for that. And the lugs are die-cast chrome steel lugs. Great lugs, and the throw-off on the snare drum is fantastic. This drum sounds so good that I don't know if you can see this, but this is, oops, sorry about that. I always change the heads, you know, but this head, it's an Evans, look at that. It's worn out a little bit. It's hard to see because the light's right on it. But it's an Evans heavyweight, and I usually change the drum when it's starting to show a little bit of wear, but this one still sounds like cranking, you know. I recorded with it. Still got some great tone to it. It's amazing. So I'm going to keep using it until I break it. That'll take a while. Okay, next question.
Did you increase the size of the kit? Looks bigger.
Yes, I increased the size of the kit because we finally got, before I was playing with the hickory set here, 3 toms. Actually, sorry, this tom. That's the 18. Sizes here are 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18. 24 by 14 bass drum. And with all this shipping problems everybody's having, we finally got Chromacast and Sawtooth finally got these drums in. And I was able to add these. Okay? And the 16. So the kit got bigger. Yes. And this is just a Korg old drum. This is an old electronic drum. Got to find a good sound on. Okay, next question.
What is your favorite Black Sabbath song to play?
War Pigs. I got my own version of it a little bit. I changed it up a little bit. In the after the solo, I think. Yeah. That break, I usually play in it, which is cool because you got the whole solo building up. tricks you can do with that little break there. Keep the rest of the song, the way it is. But War Pigs is a lot of fun, and it's actually the beginning part of it. This is the way we started when I played with Tony and Geezer and Ozzy. I wish I could play these songs, but there's copyright problems. But the beginning of that song is really slow. Even the beginning, the intro with this. All right. Wait. It's a visual cue. See? So you got to watch me when you play it, or I can go. Fix my hair, scratch. And this tempo is different. Hey, be quiet. So that tempo, the tempos change, It's got to feel it. So I love that song. Okay, how about one more question?
Where in Brooklyn are you from?
I'm where in Brooklyn? I am from Borough Park, which is Borough Park. It's near Bensonhurst. And there's a lot of drummers, man. Buddy Rich is from Brooklyn. Who else? The Ramones. I off the top of my head, there's a lot of drummers from Brooklyn. And up the street from me, I lived on 41st Street. First, we lived on 40th Street. That's when Carmine was kind of growing up and got his band, and then the drums came in the house. Then we moved. He got out of the house, playing with the Vanilla Fudge, and I moved. Well, I didn't move, but the whole family moved next street over to 41st Street, and that's when I started playing the drums in the basement, and that's when I was happening. And up the street, 2 or 3 blocks, was my friend Mark Rivera. And we played in a band together, and we're the band that played with John Lennon. He played sax. And that's the band that I did work with John Lennon. So it's funny that he was up the street, and then he went on to play with Billy Joel and Foreigner and all these really big bands, So that was pretty cool. But in my basement in Brooklyn on 41st Street, I used to go down and play, It was, the basement wasn't finished. It was rock kind of on the walls, And the basement was kind of crumbly cement here and there. So I used to play at a phonograph there, and I didn't need to play it that loud like I do now. And I had this picture, this old picture of my great grandfather's, like those old pictures where they look pissed off. And I swear, I'm playing. Some days I go down there and play, and then I just feel a vibe, I mean, I'm like 10, 11 years old, and I go, oh, shit. Put the sticks down, run up the stairs. I'm getting out of here. Something going on here. And I think there was some sort of spirit down there. It's probably why I wound up playing with Black Sabbath and Dio. I don't know. But, yeah. And then the high school Carmine went to is the one on Welcome Back Cotter. It's called New Utrecht High School. He had to take the train to get there. We all had to take the train to get to high school, but I had a different high school. But his high school was the one that's on the intro of Welcome Back Cotter. So you could say Carmine's a sweat hog, I guess. Hey, Carmine, you're a sweat hog. I told you I'm going through his realistic rock book. I'm on page 78, which he shows you how to do this. I love doing that. Anyway, okay, well, thank you guys for joining me, and let's say our prayers for the world. I think the world needs some love, and man, this is crazy what's going on, but I hope you guys are safe. We have people watching from Australia, not Poland, but Scotland, a whole bunch of people watching. Hi, you guys. Thanks for tuning in, man. And what time is it there? It's 8 hours ahead. So that's pretty late. And I'll be back next week. Yeah, next week. Not the next week after that. I got to be somewhere in Florida. But thank you guys. And, any questions, you can shoot me some emails, drummonster13@gmail.com. I'll see you next week. Be safe, be good, and play loud. Okay?